Exclamation, everybody, and welcome to StarSmashers. It's a game by Wayne Jackson, Jason Mallet, Colin Wren, published by War Hungry Games and Kiss Limited. Is currently fully released out on Steam, and it's 15% off at the moment at $6.79 US, normally $7.99 US. And normally when I do one of these side quest videos, I start from the beginning and just kind of show you what's going on. For this particular game, it doesn't really matter where I start. In fact, it's probably a lot nicer to start further on in a game. As you can see, I'm already at to level 5. I'm on the 4th star system here. This game is it's basically a turn-based clicky click, I guess. It's a turn-based strategy, sort of. Very, very light strategy, as you'll see in a moment here. It does very much have mobilitis going on here, so that the UI is very much one geared towards a mobile device. This is a PC release. In and of itself, that's not normally a bad thing, with one caveat, and that is, in a mobile UI, generally the buttons are not only, excuse me, the buttons are generally not only really big, but also they're about 90 miles away from one another, because it's a touch screen, so it doesn't really matter how far away the buttons are. But on a PC, when you're using the mouse, it very much does matter. And so when I see a game like this, I always hope that there's going to be hotkeys to do stuff with it. Unfortunately, this game does not appear to have any hotkeys from what I can tell, which is a big problem. It does affect, at least in the early game, it does affect your enjoyment of it. As you get later on and you can get more time to actually, think and do, well, maybe not think, but a more time to do actions, it's not quite so bad. But early on, it's probably the single most biggest source of frustration, because you have to click a button down at the bottom of the screen, and then you've got to run all the way over to the right hand side of the screen to select targets. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a moment here, but let's get a little lay of the land. This is my ship here. Let's show my ship right here. There's a little blue bar above it. This is the second form of the ship. Normally you start out with a smaller ship. The blue bar is based on how many upgrades I've gotten. And every level that you level up, you get 2 skill points. These skill points get you into shields, missile-based weapons, your reactor, your auxiliary power, and, well, actually, this is just all weapons. Your reactor, your auxiliary power, and your sensors. And these things do what you would probably expect. The shields help protect your hull. The weapons obviously are your offensive capabilities. The reactor will automatically repair itself over time, but it's basically used to affect repairs on the other systems. So you use reactor power in order to repair all these other systems here. Your auxiliary systems are for sort of one-shots, these sort of one-shot devices that help during the battle. The thing is, every time I've used one, it's petered out before the enemies had a turn, so I haven't really dug too much into the auxiliary stuff, because it kind of doesn't really work the way I would expect it to work. It doesn't always last long enough for the enemy's turn to come around. And then your sensors help you to target, and if your sensors are down, you'll be more likely to miss and definitely not get any criticals and stuff. Up here is the number of credits you have. You get credits as you win an encounter, and so on and so forth. We'll get into that in a moment. Back here is your engineering section. This is where you do upgrades for your stuff. Now, the one thing I'd say about this menu is that it kind of sucks. Because you look at this here, right? I've clicked on this. This is the diffuser Mark III. Now, down here is where it says I've equipped it in the first slot. There's only 2 slots for equipment, and I've equipped this one. Now, if I click on this one, it says, okay, Pulse Cannon Mark 3.5. The mark means how many times I've upgraded it. This says equipped on 2. If I go down here, well, I already have 1 level in this, even though it's hard to tell. I've upgraded this guy once already because it says Mark 1.5, but he's not equipped. right? So if I wanted to, and all these weapons have different things that they do. Like this one is effective against weapons, but not effective against scanners. This one is not effective against weapons, but it's effective against the enemy's reactor. This one is effective against pretty much everything. Well, effective against auxiliary, but ineffective against reactor. Those come into play very much as we fight enemies. A little more so in the early game than in the later game here, is what I've noticed. And then, yeah, like this one I've apparently taken an upgrade for. See, it's very hard to tell what you've actually upgraded versus what is brand spanking new. Like this is brand spanking new. This is a laser boost. I don't have any things in that. Same with these. You know what I mean? It's very kind of confusing. I mean, it doesn't really matter that you've got an upgrade for it, but early on it kind of matters because you want to use your money wisely, and sometimes you'll end up upgrading something that you don't even actually have equipped because you forgot to look over here to see it was equipped. I think this menu probably could use some tweaking. The missiles here, I've got this completely this is the one that's equipped, and it's completely maxed out as far as Mark V goes. So 5 damage, 0.05 reload, and we got 3 ammo. And as you upgrade it, you get more ammo. So I get 3 shots on that guy. You can see this one's only one ammo, but 7 damage. So these cost small fortune. So these are things for much later on as you're going. In fact, this one requires level 8 before I can even use it. So, and then there's like EMP ones that come up here, like EMP missiles, that requires level 15, so on and so forth. So I assume that these will be things that are needed later on in the game. Auxiliaries, this is what I was kind of talking about. This one, I have one that they gave me from the tutorial, which is missile decoy, absorbs 1 missile shot. When you fire this off, basically it stays above your ship for a little bit of time, and then it will absorb a missile shot, but if you fire it off too early in your turn, it doesn't last long enough to go into the next turn, which is it's just weird. It's very weird how these auxiliaries are supposed to work. I think that's just kind of, if you're going to have something like this, it should last into it shouldn't actually fire off until the enemy's turn and actually be effective for the enemy's turn. Having it the way it is now, where it's completely time-based, doesn't make a whole lot of sense, as you'll see once I get into the game proper. And then that was our skill points and whatnot. So we come back here. You can see there's been a couple systems I've been through. The Aquila system, the Orion system is your tutorial basically. And so this is the first real foray into things is Aquila, and now we're over to the Cetus system. I've already done the first mission in this one. The missions are all the same. It's just basically destroy an enemy. The story is that these guys came and just destroyed your homeworld, and that's about it. I mean, there's just barely enough story to just hold everything together. So this is not really something you're playing for the story. This is just something you're playing for the gameplay, which is actually kind of fun once you get past the annoyance of the user interface. So let's jump in. You took it. I need it. We need it. Give it to us. They're arming weapon systems. They just won't quit. All right. So normally here, when you're in the early game, they'll present you with ships and they'll give you tips like, "Hey, this ship is really dependent on its auxiliary systems," or "This ship is really dependent on its reactor." And then that allows you to then go into this here and then pick whatever lasers or missiles upgrades you need in order to, pick the right thing for the right job. Once you get to this point in the game though, they don't really give you any tips. And I'm not sure that giving you any tips would actually matter, because it seems like the best weapons in the game right now are the diffuser and the pulse cannon. I mean, once you've got these guys maxed out or beefed up like I do, it's pretty much just keep firing at them and then you'll pretty much overwhelm them thus far. Now maybe this will change later on as we go, but let's go and jump into a battle here. Enemy has advantage. All right, so we're gonna go Green means we have a system over on the right hand side that's in green, means that our weapon is most effective against that. So you see I'm sticking mostly to where the things are most effective. We got a critical hit on that one. And now it's the enemy's turn. Now what you probably didn't realize there, oh, my auxiliary's offline apparently. Or no, his auxiliary's offline because he basically EMP'd himself. So what's going to be hard to explain here is that I'm basically selecting a thing down the bottom, which weapon I want to use, and then I'm targeting their systems. Let's get our stuff rebuilt there. So on the left-hand side are my systems, and as they take damage, I have to click on them to repair them. And on the right is the enemy's systems, and I basically have to just constantly keep them guessing here. So let's get this up and that up, and let's go take out their weapons a little bit. Now there's a little timer up here that I have to be mindful of. We do get a retreat button if we want it. You can see they're just repairing stuff now, which is what I really want them to do, be constantly doing, is repairing stuff, using up all their time for that and not actually firing at me, which is why I'm constantly targeting their main systems here, and their hull is offline now. And that was a lot faster than that was extremely fast because I've beefed up those weapons so much. It's very fast paced. It's very hard for me to explain everything that's going on while it's going on because it is so fast paced. But now that we've done that, you saw we got a bunch of money based on how much hull we had left and how quickly we went through that. So now I can go in here and I can beef those things up even more and be even more of a badass. So this one takes 25,000, this one's 35. We can't do that quite yet, but we could do this one. So let's upgrade that. So now it's 20 damage. They don't tell you what your upgrade's going to actually do, which is another thing another problem I have with this menu is like, you know, when you go to upgrade something, it would be kind of nice if they said, oh, this will add like 3 damage, or this will reduce your reload time, or this will add the number of targets you can do, which so far none of these have added more targets. So I guess maybe once I get the Mark IV or something, it will do that. But yeah, and it also doesn't tell you that it's going in half steps either. Like you just find that out as you do it. So these both require level 6 now. Okay, which we should be able to get to soon. All right, and then we're more than halfway through level 5, so we'll go to the next thing here. That's quite a fancy ship you got there. Perhaps I'll get me. I'm getting deja vu. Have we met? Every one of my brethren is searching for you. Alright, they seem to have salvaged a repair module from a bounty hunter ship. Just like last time, target their auxiliary, which is... See, they've given me tips on here, and their auxiliary is 17, and I've already got a weapon equipped that will do lots of damage to the auxiliary and to their reactor. So that should... Basically, the idea is overwhelm your enemy to the point where they spend most of their turn trying to repair themselves and not shooting at you, is basically the way I've been approaching the game. So away we go. I've got the advantage, so I get an extra couple seconds here, enough to do 2 shots. There we go. And then I'll get a full turn this next time around after they get their full turn here. Okay. Cannon boost and everything. Alright, and I'm going to try to take on their weapons a little bit, just to make it a little bit harder to hit me. And I'm going to do this. And let's see if I can get another shot off. There we go. Oh, that was a bad one. So red means that I'm not very effective. That weapon is not very effective against that particular subsystem. You'll still do damage, but it's like you really should avoid that whenever possible. Okay, so far so good here. Alright, let's take out their sensors. Again, get them repairing as much as possible so that they are stuck doing that and not shooting at you. Now this laser that I'm firing, the reason it shows up green like that is because it's it does damage over time. So you can see it just damaged their thing completely, their weapons completely now. And it looks like they're not even repairing it. Oh, they're repairing scanners, and that's about it. Okay. So I've basically overwhelmed them to the point where the AI doesn't know what the hell to do anymore. So far so good here. Let's get... Okay, there's their hull down. So it looks like I'm wrecking faces, but honestly, earlier on, it was far closer than that. Like, I only had 40% hull left on that one, but... And I don't think you can repair your hull either. So... I heard stories, but... Clones. We best be on our guard. We're fighting the clone wars, my friends. Alright, so now we're level 6, which means I can go, and you can see this is like flashing like that, so that means I've got skill points to use. And as I use these, you'll see the blue bar up here go up, which means once this blue bar gets full, my ship will get much larger. Just like this was a much smaller ship before. Let's just put it that way. So I think what I want to do is I want to upgrade that scanner strength so I get more of a crit chance. And I like to upgrade my shields again to 30. It seems like you get 5 points every upgrade, which is good. And yeah, that has pushed the bar forward quite a bit. Now I come back here and see if I can afford something. So 35,000 for both of these, right? And that's kind of what I thought. Let's see about the missiles. Are there any missiles that I can afford? I can afford that one for 10,000. Or this one, but this one requires level 8 for 30,000. That does 13 damage. What does this do? 7? My missiles do 5 now. 7 damage, 0.5 reload. See, I like the one that has 3 ammo. And I mean, I use the missiles, but I don't use them that often anyway. But what I can do is I don't have to equip it. I can just buy this one and then keep going forward. Or I can just hang on to my stuff. I think I'll just hang on to my stuff for now. Alright, so we'll go to the next encounter. Ship up ahead. Our scanners are picking up large amounts of cargo from multiple sources. Pirates, Captain. Don't shoot! We can make a deal! Find us black market goods! We don't have time for this. Shields up! Watch out for that cloaking field. Okay, so the pirates have a cloaking field. And if I remember correctly, the cloaking field is based off of their reactor? Or it's either the reactor or auxiliary. I forget which one does it. So the cloaking field obviously makes it so that I can't actually target them for a little bit once they activate it. So I need to focus my fire on both the reactor and the auxiliary. I think it's one or the other that their cloaking field draws from, and try to get that down so that we can continually fire on them. I have the advantage right now, so let's do that. Let's use said advantage, shall we? Get some damage over time there. And their cloaking field is active. Getting some critical hits on me. Alright, let's see if I can hit them. Indeed I can. Alright, do this. And we'll do this. How's my ship here? Ship is doing pretty good. We're still doing really good, actually. And they are missing left, to right, and center. Excellent. No, I am missing too, which is not good. We'll do that, and we'll wait for this. Actually, let's see if I can get their sensors down. Good, good, good. Take their reactor out, and that's the last thing I'll be able to do there for that turn. And repairing their shields and things, and they're missing, which is excellent. That's what I want to see. Oh, and that's the end of them. Cool. Very cool. How much hull did I have left? I feel like I had a bunch of hull left. Yeah, 82%. Damn straight. Give me all that. Give me all that moolah. Alright, we're at 60,000 now. That should be enough for some more to beef up these things. I've just been basically dumping all my money into these two guns because they just work fantastically well. Let's do this one. 23 damage now. Okay, that's up to 50,000. So then we need 35 for this one. So we'll hold on to the rest of our cash and we'll move on to the next one. So you see, this is basically the gameplay loop here. I mean, there's nothing really flashy or anything about it. The artwork is really nice. The music is very, very repetitive, so you'll probably want to turn that down or off. Also, the settings, the music and the sound effects don't actually save in the settings. So every time you start up again, it blasts your ear out. So you'll have to, work on that as well. Yeah, for as simple as it is, I've been actually having a lot of fun with it. I mean, I've played this far, and I'm actually enjoying just wrecking faces. I can see that this would be one of those things that would be perfect for mobile. PC, like I said, it would be a lot better if it actually had some hotkeys, because moving the mouse back and forth over these long distances, like all the buttons are 90 miles away from one another, is a bit frustrating over time. It's happening again, Captain. This gas, it interferes with our instruments. Bladum universes ta orcha fractured bladum da mort. Accuracy down by 10%, so we gotta be careful about that. Sure. There has advantage, so let's take the advantage. There we go, and like that. I mean, this is pretty much the shape of it as it goes. You can see the timer here on my thing that's doing damage, or on that thing that they shot me with that's doing damage over time. Alright, they took my weapons out. That's not cool. Let's see if we can repair those, shall we? Now I gotta wait for the weapons to... You see my reactor went down because that's what's used to repair things. So let's go and get a good shot off here if we can. And we'll... Nope, that's all I could get off there. They seem to be targeting my weapons, which is not okay. Alright, let's do that. Do that. And see, I can put this tactical decoy out, but it'll wear off before I can do anything about it. See if I can take their reactor out. Good. Do that. Oh, let's see. See, like I said, it will frustrate the hell out of you because I'm not doing any damage to their hull at all either, which is really terrible. It'll frustrate the hell out of you when you try to get a thing off and there's not enough time to do it. Let's do this against their weapons. Critical hit. Thank you very much. And do that. Okay, and yeah, I'm not going to win this one because they're just wrecking my face here. That's it. That's all she wrote there. Wow. Wow, that was crazy. So, difficulty just spiked on me. Because that's the first time I've actually lost in this game thus far. So, that was a big difficulty spike. So, let's see if I can do something about that, shall we? Let's get this going. And get this going. Alright. Maybe if I take their scanners down, we'll have something here. Let's see what I can do with that. Maybe that'll be something I can work on here. Trying to get as many repairs done as I can. Alright, so I've actually done some damage to their hull for a change. So that's at least something. Alright. And we'll get our things repaired. And get our hull shields repaired a little bit. There we go. Oh, that's the wrong thing on the wrong thing there. Let's do. Oh, see, that is so frustrating. That is why you need. If you're going to do a UI like this, on a PC, you need hotkeys. Absolutely need them. All right, let's do that, and if I can get some stuff here, if they would let me do that. Alright, that's some BS. If I'm gonna lose this one, it's because of this freaking timing here. Really drive me nuts. Of course, they targeted my reactor there, which is fantastic because that's gonna stop me from being able to repair things. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Let's see if I can get this off as well. They don't have any real... They fired off missiles, but my tactical decoy did absolutely nothing for that. There goes my weapons. This is fantastic. Alright, we gotta retreat from that. That's... So basically at this point I'm stuck, right? Because they've... The difficulty just spiked right through the roof. Like, just absolutely through the roof. Now, I guess the other thing is I can't go back and play any of these other ones, which is kind of weird. I thought maybe I could go back and actually redo one of these, but I can't. So at this point, you're basically screwed, right? I mean, you can't like go back and try to get more money off of these other encounters. In order to build up your stuff more. Basically, you just gotta keep throwing your stuff out at this brick wall and dying repeatedly. That's kind of BS. That's a really broken game, I think, at that point. I think that qualifies as a broken game at that point, when you can't go back and you've basically hit a wall at this point and you can't do anything about it. That I can see anyway. I mean, maybe it's effective against weapons, ineffective against scanners. I mean, I could try switching over to a multi-ray thing, or something like that, but tactical laser weapons, cannon weapons, diffusion boost, ray boost, fusion weapons. I could try the multi-ray thing. Oh, this does 2 targets, huh? Well, that's interesting. Across multiple systems. Let's try this one. Let's upgrade this one a couple times and see if I can get that working for me. I'll put that in the second slot because it only does like 4 damage. So let's see if this helps me get past this guy here. I have a feeling it won't, because we're at that point where it's like you need something really big and mean to take him on. Let's do that. Hello? Firing? Firing, please? That gun is not firing for some reason. Which is not ideal. Alright, let's get this repaired. Okay, you're gonna fire? No, you're not gonna fire. It won't fire on that one, on the thing that it was effective against, which is kind of balls, if you ask me. Alright, let's see what we can do here. And get some more. Alright, you gonna fire now against this? Nope. Alright. Oh, it's 2 targets. That's right. Oh, that's why. Damn. I forgot. It said 2 targets. It made a little. It put a little green dot there to say that I had picked that one, and oh. Okay, wait a minute. Let's. I need a redo here. Hang on a second. Let's retreat. Let's try this again. I need a redo on that one. It's kind of balls. I read that it did 2 targets, but I didn't realize that. Well, I clicked it and it was so subtle that it put a little green dot there, and I couldn't tell that it was actually working. So let's do that. Alright, and do this. And that missed, of course. Of course it did. Meantime, this guy's getting critical hits left, right, and center. I should take his sensors out, maybe. Maybe that'll work. Maybe that'll work a lot better. Just do that. And this is not effective against sensors, so I'm not going to do it there. That missed, of course, did. My sensors are going down. This guy's basically getting all kinds of free shots now. Balls, I say. Balls to that. Alright, can I get something here? Let's see, this and that. Yeah, it's so the game is effectively over at this point, right? Like, I didn't build the ship out the way that the devs intended me to build the ship out, so I'm basically stuck at this point. Like, I can't do anything. I can't do anything that would make this work. Really, at this point, as far as I can tell. As far as I can tell, that's it. That's the end game right there. But anyway, that's enough complaining on my part. That has been StarSmashers, my friends. It is by Wayne Jackson, Jason Mallet, Colin Wren, and published by War Hungry Games and Kiss Limited. It is currently fully released out on Steam for $6.79 US at 15% off. Normally it is $7.99, and well, I think I've pretty much talked about all the bits of it. It is fun to a point, and then I've just hit a brick wall where I basically can't play the game anymore at this point. And that's, I mean, 'tis life, I suppose, my friends. But that's basically my look through at this. So thanks, as always. Links to more information so you can do your own due diligence are down in the description. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time.